What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zbeck today, ZBCN. It is the 27th day of November, and here we are sitting at about $0.003111 with 5 hours and 50 minutes left in the day. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hit that like button, subscribe. Let's get into it. Okay, here we are. I'm a little bit disappointed with the price action because it seemed as though we were in a V-shaped recovery, which should have implied that we continue to move until we're above this point here. Or maybe the V started back here. We keep moving up until we're above that point there. We stopped below this one, however, and now we're pulling back. We still will move higher. We still will move higher. We still will break out to new all-time highs. It's just going to take a little bit of time, that's all. If we're looking at this, and when I say I'm disappointed, I don't mean we're going to zero. There's no risk here. It's just I would have expected over the last couple of days, today and yesterday, I would have thought that we would push higher above this level here. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, zooming in now. A little bit of disappointment's okay. It keeps you on your toes. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, it is like you're rolling over. You had the breakout and everything. It looked good. You know what I think the issue was? It's something that I said a couple days ago. Is that we didn't have volume. We were talking about how great this looked, how it seemed like you were inevitably going to break out. You did break out, but there's no volume. In fact, the only volume that came in was to the sell side. So it's kind of... It's like you had a breakout that just didn't... There was no follow-through. So with that, I would and do assume we see some type of retracement here from a low here to a high here. At least, at a bare minimum, to 0.00296. It's very common to wick just below the 382 and close above it. So if we go below 0.00296, we're not broken. But at least there, somewhere in this area. If not, to the golden ratio, all the way down at 0.026 to 0.025. Take your pick. You'll know that it's the real deal. You'll know that you found support once you find support and you get above the 236. So you find support here and you get above the 236, or find support here and you get above the 236. Any of these levels are possible outcomes for the downside. And then once we cross above the 236, that's how you know that you can depend on this low or whichever low it might be. That level is at 0.032. So regardless of however low we go, which is lower, when we close a 4 hour, not a 1 hour, I want a 4 hour time frame to close above 0.032 in a 4 hour, say it with me, 4 hour time frame. When it closes, not wicks, but closes above 0.032, that validates the low. And the reason why I'm being specific on that is if we bounce here and we wick up here, but the 4 hour closes below, there's a statistical probability that we go lower. Okay? Don't get too excited too soon. We can go all the way down here and it can look just like this. It can literally look just like this all the way down there. So don't get excited until we close above 0.032, wherever the low might be. Okay? 1 hour time frame indicators suggest we go lower. RSI sucks. Stochastics are bearish and the MACD is in the dumps. 4 hour time frame here. RSI, you tried, man. You tried to get overbought. You were doing good. You kept trying, but you kept rejecting. You take good opportunities like this and you tarnish them. Your price action will be tarnished as a result, and it's just how it is. There's no buyer stepping in here on this breakout moment, so you're going to retrace and try again. That's okay. Stochastics are bearish. MACD is bullish, but you can come down a little bit still and bounce off the zero. This MACD and the stochastics being oversold like this might imply that we don't have too much to go, and that might be a reason to count on 0.0296 to be a level of support. Again, if we wick below 0.0296, that doesn't mean automatically we're going down to 0.026 or 0.025. It's very common to wick below the 382 and then close above it. In fact, I would look for that wick below and then a close above on the 4 hour time frame. That might be validating that the low is in. But again, ultimately, 0.032 closing above there on a 4 hour time frame validates the low. This could be a short-lived experience. Maybe you move down for a day, a half day, and then you move up. Tomorrow we're singing Kumbaya, we're at new highs. Whatever. The 4 hour time frame looks a little bit better, but still looks sad. Looks like it wants to come down right now. Daily time frame. Finding resistance here, you got a lower high and a higher high. Maybe that's why you're finding resistance, because of hidden bearish divergence. Same thing on the stochastics. Same thing on the MACD. So a little hidden bearish divergence calling for a pullback. That might be exactly what it is. What better place to pull back than your 382? I'm not convinced completely that you will find support at the 382. Of course, keep your mind open to lower prices, but I really am 00296 or around there. I really am thinking that's where you're going to go. You're going to find support, and then we'll start to recover. When we recover, not if, but when it happens, it's going to happen. Look at that. Look at that week. What an ugly week. What an absolutely ugly week. When it happens, when you do recover, you're going to see new highs, new all-time highs. When we see new all-time highs, the level that's anticipated that we're going to go to is somewhere between about 3 cents and 4.4 cents, 4.5 cents. I think it's supposed to be more than that, isn't it? Isn't it 4.5 cents? Let's see. Maybe is it this high? This high. That's the low, right? That is the low. It's just a little different on Bybit, I guess. The reason for this expectation, 3 cents to 4.5 cents, is that we're theorizing that we are in the process of a five-legged pattern, a phase 1 to the upside, a phase 2 consolidation phase. Phase 3 is about to start, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-legged patterns in these kind of formations. The third leg, which is the move that we've yet to see, is typically the biggest leg. Typically, the third leg is the biggest leg. So if it is the biggest leg, it doesn't mean it has to be. It can be smaller. It can be exactly the same size as wave 1. Typically, wave 1 is the smallest of the impulsive waves. Wave 3 is typically the biggest. Okay. So the idea here would be that we probably see a move that is larger than this. Well, if we take the high to the low, the target area right above there from the fib perspective would be about 3 cents. And with the 2272, just like the 382, typically you wick above it instead of finding resistance right at it. So something above 3 cents, if not maybe as high as 4.4 cents, this is what I would think. We were considering 6 to 7.7 cents heavily when we were up here, whenever we were thinking the breakout was coming over here. It's not that it can't happen. To me, it makes a lot more sense that we see 3 to 4.5 cents, somewhere in that area. And if I had to be leaning one way or another, I don't really care. I'm not really leaning one way or another. If you're watching this video and you're like, okay, you say we'll go 4.4 cents to 3 cents, 4.5 cents, whatever. Which side are you leaning more toward, right? Because it's a range. So are we going to stop here? Are you thinking? Are we stopping here? Are you thinking? I don't really care. I don't really know. Either way, this 3 cent level, the 2272, it's perfect. It makes a lot of sense. The 2618 is a very key area to find resistance too. I mean, either way makes sense, but something in that area, that's where we're going to go. I don't have anything else that I want to say. I think I've said it all. So hit the like button, subscribe. Don't be intimidated by this week. I'm not intimidated by this week. We've seen weeks like this happen before, even worse, and we pumped 32% the next week. Inevitably, we dumped. But the point still stands that even with the big wick to the upside, we can make some serious headway to the upside as well. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hit the like button, subscribe. Take care. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye.